Hello there, my name's Claire and this is Stitch Sew. Thank you so much for joining me today for another video. Now today's video is another Friday Sews video, so I'm here to talk to you all about what I've been up to in terms of sewing for the last couple of weeks. I've got some fabric to show you. Of course, I'll talk to you about any sewing plans that I've got and a little bit of life thrown in along the way, I'm sure. Now, Friday Sews was created by the lovely Jen from Jay and Jen Sewing Room. I'm sure you're all aware of that by now. It's just a brilliant way of bringing the sewing community together. So just a massive thank you to Jen, and don't forget to check out Jen's channel. And if you type in that hashtag Friday Sews, you will find all of us that are using that hashtag, all bringing you lots of lovely sewing content. So thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for those of you that have subscribed to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love if you would consider doing so. And don't forget to give the video a like if you enjoy it. And I love it when you take the time to drop me a comment as well. Thank you so much to everybody that wished me well last week when I popped a little note up on my community page and on Instagram just to say sorry for not posting a video. I was really suffering last week with hay fever. It's still not great, to be honest with you, but it's definitely at the point where I felt like I could record a video, whereas last week it wouldn't have been a very pleasant sight. So thank you so much for your warm wishes. I really do appreciate it. And also thank you to everybody that commented on my last video with different skirt patterns that they thought that I might like to check out. I've had a look at all of them and that's just been fantastic. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate it when you do take the time to comment on my videos. It really is just fantastic, and it's just a lovely sort of sewing community that we're creating, and just the sewing community in general is just brilliant. So what have I been up to in the last couple of weeks? In terms of sewing, I think I've done okay, not maybe as much as the couple of weeks before, but I think I've done all right, so I'm sure I'll show you all of that. I went to a sewing social a couple of weeks ago now, but since I last posted a Friday Sews, and that was with the lovely Katherine from Sober to Makery, the social that she runs. She generally runs one once a month in Hampshire. And it's just so lovely, isn't it, to be able to meet up with other people that are sewing. Some people are crocheting, some people are knitting, but just lovely to get to chat to other crafty minded people and just see what people are up to. So thank you to Katherine for running that, and it was so lovely to chat to lots of lovely people there, and of course there was some familiar faces such as Anna from You Got Me in Stitches and Pattern Pouch Nest, and she was there with some of her fabrics. There was the lovely Jenny from One Girl Creates, and she brought along some of her buttons and earrings and things, and the lovely Adam from Adam Sews was there as well as so many other people as well. So yeah, just lovely. And I will try and pop some photos in if I haven't already done so of us together. So that was it in terms of sort of sewing socials. I have been doing some sewing. There was a couple of things that I spoke about in my last video that I wanted to finish off that were sort of works in progress, and those have been done. And so I'll share those finished ones with you now. So I've got a couple of makes here to show you. One has been a great success, I feel. The other one, not so much. Not because I haven't managed to complete it, just down to the fit. So I'll talk about that one first. So I was making a shirt for my husband, and this is the finished shirt. I'm really happy with how it's come out. It's really you know, the finish of it I'm really happy with, but it doesn't fit him. So I made the Wardrobe by Me Jensen shirt, and it doesn't fit. I made the 3X, which sounds quite big, but obviously it wasn't quite big enough. It's not big enough around him. It's not long enough for him. It's not long enough in the sleeves. Yeah, altogether a bit of a disaster from that point of view. I went into a fabric shop the other day, an actual in-person fabric shop, which was a delight. I'll tell you a bit more about that later on. And I was talking to the lady that ran it there, and she suggested about maybe extending it with another sort of panel of fabric, and then I could add sort of a panel down the sides, etc. But I'm kind of loath to do that because I'm really pleased with the finished make. I think it looks really lovely, and I feel like if I was to try and just sort of add bits to the bottom / the sides, it would just look like that's what I'd been trying to achieve. So yeah, I don't really know for this one because even if he was to lose a bit of weight, which he does talk about every so often, it still wouldn't be long enough. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing, this one. So I don't know, maybe I'll see if my dad wants it, although I've never ever seen him wear anything of this type before. I just don't think it's really him. So yeah, it's a bit of a sad one really, but hey ho, you live and learn, and yeah. There we go. Now the next item, and sorry it's a little bit creased because I've washed it and I haven't sort of quickly ran the iron over it, is my finished Donny shirt. Now this was a sort of a wearable toile, if you like. I'd picked this fabric up from a charity shop, and I thought it would be really good for testing out this particular garment. Overall, I'm really pleased with this one. I really liked the fabric. I felt like it was a really cute summery type fabric. I think it works quite well for this make. I think it would be particularly nice in a viscose as well because it would make it a lot more drapey, but I do like it. I have found that I don't often go for pockets. I don't particularly know why I decided to go for on this one, but I think this pocket sits a little bit too far over. If I was to do it again and to put the pocket on again, and I probably will be looking to make the Donny again, I don't know whether I would include the pocket, if I'm honest with you, but I would move that pocket over by, I don't know, ½ inch to 1 inch. You do have to be a little bit careful because you've got sort of some top stitching from the facing, and so you don't want to kind of sort of run into that, but it could definitely stand to move over at least ½ inch, if not 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch, whatever, just because I think that would sit better. I think other people have commented about the fact that the pocket feels like it's too far over as well, but I just went with how that was made, how the pattern was designed, and I've added a little highly machine label. I think I graded between sizes. I probably didn't need to do that because it's quite roomy on me, and I added length because I always have to add length, and this does come up as sort of a reasonably cropped version, the actual pattern. So what I did is I just added, I basically extended down to what would be the 7x line on the actual pattern. So I don't know, that's maybe 1.5 inches, something like that, of additional length, because yeah, I'm quite tall and I always need that additional length. So really happy with the Donny. Definitely got plans to make some more. I think it's an ideal sort of casual shirt for wearing during the summer months when you don't necessarily want to wear a t-shirt, but you want something that's sort of easy and breezy and easy to wear. Yeah, I think this one really kind of hit the mark. I know it's been particularly a favourite in the sewing community since it's come out. So the next thing I made was, again, a shirt for my husband. I know you must think that I'm crazy, but hear me out. So the shirt that I'd made that ended up being too small was for his birthday, and he was aware that he was getting it, so he was looking forward to receiving a new item of clothing, and yeah, obviously it didn't fit. So we had a bit of a rethink, and I said, well, look, I know that I can make you a tropical shirt by the same company, Wardrobe by Me, because I'd made one around about this time last year. And so I've got, you know, the pattern's already there. I've already, you know, made any alterations that I needed to do to it. So I know that I can make that one. So I haven't got it to show you because actually he's got it on today. So that shows that it's successful. So hopefully I will manage to get a photo of him in it. He's quite shy. Well, he's not a shy person in the least, but he's camera shy, shall we say. And so I will try and get a picture of him in it. It may or may not have his head in, depending on how he's feeling about it. Anyway, I have got a little bit of the fabric that I used for the shirt here. So these are just some little bits of offcuts. So he chose this fabric. We went into a fabric shop in, where were we? Hindhead, that sort of way. And I forgot the name of the shop. I'm going to pop it along the screen. And she was so helpful in there. I couldn't rate the shop more highly, to be honest with you. It was so lovely going into the shop and sort of talking to someone about sewing that obviously knows everything about it. We discussed what we were after, that, you know, kind of a lightweight, either a viscose or a cotton lawn or a lightweight cotton, to make a sort of camp style shirt. So the pattern that I've made is this one here, which is the tropical shirt by Wardrobe by Me. This is probably one of 5 paper patterns that I actually own. I generally go for PDF, and whilst I am normally very much a cutter, I did actually trace this pattern when I originally used it. So yes, I've got a traced off version. I think because I was thinking that I would potentially use it for more than just my husband. I might at some point end up making a shirt for my dad or something, and so actually it would be a good idea to trace. So yeah, I've made this particular shirt pattern for him in this fabric, which is a lovely cotton lawn fabric. It's a Prima cotton lawn, and it was beautiful to sew with, and beautiful, you know, it presses beautifully, it behaves. A cotton lawn is just gorgeous to sew with, isn't it? And he's really pleased with the outcome. He's worn it a few times. He actually had it just before his birthday because he was going out for the evening and he wanted to be able to wear it. So I had a time scale to sew it up in. I think I managed to sew it up in a couple of days. So yes, he was very lucky, I felt, that we managed to get it all sorted. And we picked some red buttons whilst we were in the shop that matched, you know, pretty well with it as well. So that is another make that I've made in the last couple of weeks. I think that's all that I've done in terms of sewing, because I've had sort of a week where I haven't really touched my machine, to be honest with you, because I just haven't felt like it. Yeah, just absolutely full of hay fever, and just when I've had sort of any level of kind of downtime, I just haven't had the sort of head capacity because of it to do it, and I've just sort of spent quite a lot of time looking at Instagram, quite frankly. Although that has given me lots and lots of sewing plan ideas, which I will film a separate video for my June plans, and I must get on and do that because we are ticking through June as quickly as that. So what else have I got to talk to you about? I've shown you my makes. I've got some fabric to show you. I've got a little bit of a stack of fabrics that I have got to show you, so I will just grab those and we'll go through them. So the first fabric I've got to show you is a cotton poplin fabric that I have been kindly gifted as part of my brand ambassador role for UK Fabrics Online, and it is this absolutely gorgeous leopardy spot type animal print fabric, but in this with these blue tones. I really like this. Now, this is not available on their website as yet, I do not believe, but it will be very soon. And I just love it. I think it's gorgeous. It feels beautiful. It's got a really sort of soft handle to it. But of course, when you're sewing up with a cotton, it's just always lovely, isn't it? Because it just behaves itself. So I am thinking of a skirt. So thank you, as I said before, to everybody that has come up with some skirt pattern ideas for me. I haven't quite decided on which one as yet. I've got a couple of things that are kind of whirling around in my mind of ones that I think I'm going to try. So yes, this one is going to be a skirt, I believe. Now, the next fabric I picked up at the sewing social that I went to, that's run by the lovely Katherine, and we have she runs like a swaps table there. You take along things that you're no longer needing and you can pick up whatever takes your fancy. So I saw this royal blue jersey fabric. Now, I'm not quite sure of the content. It's possible that it's got some polyester to it. I'm not really sure, but it's kind of got a viscosy drape to it. It's quite a drapey fabric, and actually I bought this before I knew that I would be getting this. But I mean, few past me must have known what was going to be coming. So I mean, how perfect is that? So I am thinking of a t-shirt basically to go with that. And so yeah, I'm not quite sure which pattern. I will be having a little rifle through my patterns and see which one I want to make. But I think that's going to go gorgeously with that animal print fabric. The next thing that I've got is just some simple ribbing cuffing fabric. This is sort of a it's a light navy, I would suggest. I don't know whether you call it a light navy, but I have got a make that I'm looking to make for, oh, what's it called? So Fruity, that's been run by the lovely Yvette from Blossom Sandwich, and I needed some ribbing for that particular make, and I will talk about that more in my June plans. Another piece of fabric that I have bought is for a project that I've been looking to make for some time, but again, I will go into more detail about that in my June plans. I think I'm going to try and squeeze this into my June makes. This is a Modal jersey fabric. It's beautifully drapey, as you would expect from a Modal, sort of similar to like a viscose jersey, I guess. And it's in this sort of, it's a slightly more unusual colour for me, so I'm hoping it will work. But this is going to be a dress, but I will talk about that again in my plans. And then I have got two pieces of viscose fabric that look like linen, and this one in a royal blue, which again will go deliciously with that that fabric that I've got for my ambassador project. Again, that was a bit of a happy accident, which I'm thinking of making a Donny out of actually. I think that would be really nice, and a lovely bright colour for summer. And then I've got the same fabric but in a navy, because I just don't think you can go wrong with a navy. And most of these fabrics were from Pound Fabrics, so I'll obviously link all that in the details below. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with the navy. I need to have a little bit of a think about it. So in terms of plans for the week ahead, I think what would be ideal would be to crack on with deciding on the skirt for this one and making this one up. I think that would be really lovely. And if I get time, to sort out the t-shirt in this fabric, because I as I say, those two fabrics I think go really nicely together, and I think that will keep me busy for the week ahead. So let me know what you've been up to in terms of sewing over the last couple of weeks, and let me know if you've got any ideas for any of those fabrics that I've just shared with you. Please do drop me a comment. Do give me a like if you've enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. But I will say goodbye from now. I hope you have an absolutely brilliant weekend and week ahead. I hope the sun shines for you and that you manage to fit in some sewing. So until next time, take care, happy sewing, bye bye.